Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night. It's your girl, Lady Pelvic of Pelvic Gaming, bringing you my first ever Marth People game, or also known as Fire Emblem Three Houses, released July 26, 2019, exclusive on the Nintendo Switch. This was gifted to me by my best friend Mark, thank you so much. So if you're brand new to Fire Emblem and you're wondering if this is a good entry point to get into the series from someone who's also new to Fire Emblem, stay tuned. Or if you're a Fire Emblem vet and you just want this greenhorn's opinion, also stay tuned. Either way, you're getting my opinion. As far as I'm concerned, the Fire Emblem series is about war. And seen by this gorgeous opening cutscene, Three Houses is no different. You breeze through a quick dream sequence of some girl asking you some standard setup questions. Then, next thing you know, you're being asked by three good-looking strangers for help as bandits hunt them down. Tutorial battles, blah blah blah. And then you're invited to Garreg Mach Monastery, where your journey truly begins. To your surprise, you've been hired as a teacher, and have to choose between one of, you guessed it, the three houses to teach. The Blue Lions, led by Dimitri, next in line for the throne of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. The head of the Black Eagles is Edelgard, the next emperor of the Adrestian Empire. And finally, the head of the Golden Deer household, Claude of the Leicester Alliance. Depending on which house you choose, you ultimately decide your journey. My first route was the Blue Lions, and from what I've gathered, is the best one to start with. It has a solid cast with a lot of personal connections woven within the story. The Black Eagles, and my second route, has several reveals, and will fill in a handful of blanks that you'll experience in the Blue Lions route. The Blue Lions and the Black Eagle routes are tightly intertwined, so I really do encourage a second playthrough. Might I also add that the Black Eagles are the only house that have a secret route. And thirdly, the Golden Deer, which as I'm writing this, I'm playing, but I haven't beaten. But I do plan to. Maybe by the time this video comes out, I'll actually have beaten it. I know these are very vague descriptions, but like most games, it's best to go in blind. Oh, and I guess I should mention there is DLC that features a fourth house, the Ashen Wolves, that I did not play and will not be covering. Playing Fire Emblem Three Houses 3 times is a bit rough. 4 times if you didn't save before a decision in Black Eagles. The first dozen chapters are very samey. It's after the time skip where the houses diverge and things become uniquely interesting. Thankfully, this isn't a game where you must play all routes to get the one true ending. The ending is whichever route you want it to be, but you'll gain the full perspective if you treat yourself to all 3. Now, I don't want to influence you guys in any way to pick the clear and obvious best house. Each house has stellar writing, but one stands above the rest. Every cast is great, but one is superior to the others. Every house leader is hot, but one is just hotter. I don't know. In all honesty, Lions, Eagle, or Deer, no matter what road you choose, you're in for a magnificent time. The writing is spectacular, and some of the best writing I've seen in games in what feels like ages. Every house is livened up with rich, completed characters. Some of your companions may seem one note, but as you grow closer to them, and they grow closer to each other, they open up, revealing their backstories, relation to characters, insecurities, and reasons to why they are the way they are. In addition, when you pair certain characters together during activities, you'll get special dialogue. Or when fighting a unique commander, depending on who attacks them, will get hidden dialogue. The love for each character goes even deeper when you notice the developers secretly marry gameplay with characters. I might be getting a bit ahead of myself here, but Sylvain has girl problems, which clearly is conveyed through cutscenes, but subtly through gameplay. Sylvain has the least amount of S-ranked support with female characters. Also, because he's a playboy, if you're a female protagonist, he'll automatically join your house. Fire Emblem's characters were injected with an astounding amount of love and thoughtfulness. Love the characters or hate them, you cannot deny their impeccable charm unique to them.
And all I had to do was ask. Maybe I'll have a snack.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm not really a fan of strategy RPGs. Lately I've been in a slump, and while traditional JRPGs are my jam, they haven't been doing it for me lately. Even platformers didn't move me, but playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, because it's a genre I rarely ever play, was super refreshing. Fire Emblem Three Houses is my 4th ever strategy game, and my 2nd grid-based strategy game to memory. So we're gonna break this into 2 parts, the combat and the socializing system. The basics are move your unit and attack an enemy in range. The weapon you have equipped determines your range. Like a sword, you must be up close, while a bow and magic, you could strike a square away, or diagonally. Before you attack, you can get a good idea on what the turnout will be. If you don't kill an enemy unit and they're in range to counter, they will. Alternatively, you will counterattack them. Sometimes it's best to let everyone aggro a powerful unit and watch the carnage ensue. It's strange, but I don't really like grid-based tactical games. I like having free movement like Valkyria Chronicles or Lost Dimension. And yes, Fire Emblem can be played that way, but it's pretty obvious it's not meant to. There's also strength in numbers, as being near teammates will trigger a linked attack that grants momentary stat increases. It will also build support among the team. Gambits are using their battalions to attack or aid multiple people, and they're especially useful against monsters, but we'll touch up on that later. Pay close attention to weapon durability. Every attack costs 1 point, and using combat arts costs more. You can still use a broken weapon, however, it won't be nearly as effective, though later it can be repaired. But hero relics, they work a little differently, and we'll get to that too. The terrain can also be useful, hiding in bushes to raise defense and evasion. It can also be detrimental by decreasing speed or even harming you. Gold and purple particles on the ground can grant you free XP, raise weapon durability, or you can find an old weapon lying around. Each unit earns their own experience based on what they do. If they heal, they'll gain base experience plus healing experience. Attack with a lance, earn lance experience, etc. As your rank with weapons and magic increases, you'll be able to change classes. For instance, to become a cavalry unit, you need a high proficiency in lance and riding. In addition, supports. Now, this was my first Fire Emblem and I did not know characters could bond with one another. My entire Blue Lions playthrough, I did not see a single support other than with the main character, Byleth, but thank God for YouTube. Mentioned before, having them fight alongside each other will raise their affinity, unlocking a support skit. View the skit, watch the support level rise, meaning when they're near X character again, they'll gain certain bonuses. Oh, did I mention you get to marry a character at the very end if you get their support level high enough? Happy to announce I'm Dimitri's proud wife. I was actually impressed with how easy this game was to learn, and more importantly, how quick the battles could go. When I first played it, it was nice to see all the animations played out, watch the enemies take their turn, but on my second playthrough, it was great to fast forward, or outright skip the enemy's turn and get straight back into the fray. You could immediately see the results of the enemy turn, whether characters leveled up or died. Oh yes, it wouldn't be Fire Emblem if permadeath wasn't a thing. Fret not, you have the option to turn permadeath off for a more casual playthrough. But this being my first Fire Emblem, I felt like I owed it to myself to have the tried and true quote-unquote Fire Emblem experience. Plus, I like that it made me heavily consider every move I made. Otherwise, the gameplay would be brain dead. But Pelvic, what if your unit dies? Do you have to start the battle all over or continue without them? Not at all. You can turn back the hands of time to whenever you like with Divine Pulse and try to change fate. I found this feature particularly handy when fighting monsters. Monsters are an entirely new beast that hit hard and have crazy range. The squares around them are barriers that must be broken, ideally with gambits. Break a square and they'll go into a dazed state, meaning they don't counterattack and their charged attack can be minimized and redirected. They have a lot of health, but with proper planning, you can take them out. Now you return to the monastery in blood-soaked clothing. So now what? Well, the school life. Every weekend you decide what you want to do. The first thing is usually to explore, allowing you to chat with students, return lost items, accept quests, tend to the garden, fish, but some activities require activity points, or AP, which is based on your professor level. You can raise your professor level by doing various activities, occasionally fighting items that raise your professor level and helping your students. You can also recruit those in different houses, as long as you meet their standards. Many people frown at recruiting from different houses as the story feels more true if you don't. However, I didn't give a fuck. When I played Black Eagles, I recruited all my favorite Blue Lions. And now, a message from the House representatives. When you arrive at Garreg Mach Monastery, you want to join the winning team. And who better than the house that won Nintendo Dream Magazine's popularity contest 5 times in a row? Why settle for incomplete armories when you can gather all 12 Heroes relics on our journey? Join the Blue Lions today and see what the truly elite have to offer. Thank you. Paid for and sponsored by Dimitri Alexander Blathen. Do you hate religion? We sure do. Join a house that isn't shackled by the pressures of the 10 elites. Join the Black Eagles. Yeah, fuck the church. Howdy. Tired of siding with snobby nobles who can't stop going to war for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? How about joining a family tree that isn't a full circle? Come on down to the Golden Deer where you'll yee your last hog. A popular way to bond is tea time. Invite your favorite character to tea and guess what they like to talk about. Sometimes it's really difficult to choose the correct option. Black eagles do suck. Do suck Dimitri's dick. Nice, got him. It's also important to replenish students' motivation by means of food or gifts. Motivation is used for instructing the following week. You can teach your students skills, change their goals to work toward a specific class, and assign them group activities. Without motivation, they cannot be personally tutored, but will still gain experience at the end of the week based on their goals. You repeat this process until the day of the mission. If you choose not to explore, you can do battle and earn extra experience. Some missions are paralogs, which provide more context to characters, and auxiliary battles, which earn renown. Renown is used to gain extra experience based on what saint you offer it to. Or in New Game Plus, you can spend it instantly to raise certain stats for a faster playthrough. If you don't explore or do battle, you can spend your weekend attending a seminar, being taught by other faculty members to raise specific stats. Or finally, rest, which will replenish your hero's relics usage. One other throwaway bit is the online perks. 2 things. If you're struggling to decide on how to spend your weekend, playing online shows you how other people spent their time. 2, you'll get travels who resemble familiar faces that will sell you items that you may not have access to yet. Helps get the good stuff early. Now, in regards to how you spend your weekend, when it comes to the exploring segments, I do find it to be a bit of a pace breaker. Sometimes you just want to progress story, but you have to go through all these weeks of teaching and tutoring and blah 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 to move along. After every story beat, there will be new dialogue, and sometimes I think it's a little overwhelming finding everyone to talk to get every piece of dialogue. And going through the teaching bits is another obstacle to get to the story quest. You can fly by it with auto-instruct, but I don't trust it. My first playthrough, I found it a nice cooldown period. But when I started playing it a second and a third time, I just spoke to my house, that was it. Another word from the House Representatives. Hello again, friends. When you join Garrick Mock Monastery, it's important to choose the correct decision to determine your future. What will you choose? Some backwood hicks that can't tell their head from their ass, or some black magic using heretics? Join the Blue Lions today, or Dimitri's gonna snap your fucking neck. Paid for and sponsored by Dimitri Alexander Blathen. Greetings, comrades. It seems you need more convincing. In order to achieve true unity in this kingdom, we must unite as one. Turn your gaze away from the masses of the derelict proletariat and those mommy-milking kittens. Soar with us, the Black Eagles. Golden Deer, we don't give a Okay, that is more or less everything you gotta know about the gameplay. There are additional nuances here and there, but for the most part, we're good to go. Which takes us to the graphics. As my first Fire Emblem game, 3 houses look great to me. Crisp, anime-looking bullshit, just my style. I thought the mapping was easy to follow, assuming you're in grid mode. While in battle, you could see what enemy types were on the field to better place your characters. Staying zoomed out, the camera will zoom in close to capture the height of the action. I also like that the sprites resembling classes was a callback to past Fire Emblem games. As for the layout on campus, it was nice, being able to enlarge your map, see quests, and most importantly, fast travel. I think the only issue I had, and I cannot stress this enough, this is a me issue, some of the cutscenes do that 3D anime look like Beastars. Granted, this looks way better, but I still would have preferred raw animation. And lastly, the music of Fire Emblem 3 Houses is fine. It serves its purpose well. I liked it. This game doesn't have a soundtrack I enjoy so much that I'll return to it, save for a few standouts. Without a doubt, the most impressive part musically is rain and thunder variants of the battle themes. When you're in the planning stages still deciding how to make your move, you hear the rain variant. Something more calming yet still never losing sight of the action. But then the thunder version plays when a character makes their move and the camera zooms in on the fight. How the game switches between the two seamlessly blew my mind. I also like to give credit to the Monastery themes. There are 3 very distinct songs, each tackling their intended purpose. The Monastery is a hub world, so to speak, and it's amazing what a change in tune could do to the mood. Before getting to my favorite track, we have to talk about the extraordinary voice acting. Every character had a great voice, nailed their lines. No character sounded like another. For having such a large cast, it's expected to hear some similarities, but no. And extra love to Dimitri's voice actor, Chris Hackney. Yo, this man played 2 people as far as I'm concerned. Now, to end this segment, I leave you with my favorite track, Scales of the Goddess. So, my first ever Fire Emblem game? Not bad, and I think is a great entry point into the series. I enjoyed this quite a lot, way more than I thought I would. I didn't expect Fire Emblem Three Houses to have so much personality and heart. I think it was the cast that kept me coming back because each character was like a fully fleshed out being. The gameplay is fine, still not my cup of tea, but it is very easy, which makes it very welcoming for newcomers. Now, some people were wondering if this game would get me into previous Fire Emblem games, and the answer is no. Hell no. One, I already have so many games to play and I don't care to add more, especially from a genre I don't care for. And two, the older games are harder mainly because they're lacking the most welcoming newcomer feature ever, turning back time. Before, if you lost someone in battle, you'd have to restart the entire battle or continue on without them. This allows you to restart in case you make a poor decision. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think the entry before this one has a turning time mechanic, but even still, I'm not going backward, not happening. But Fire Emblem going forward, I may keep an eye on. Thank you so much for watching one box or more reviews. The other box is my Let's Play channel. Also, if you enjoyed the bits in this video, be sure to join my Patreon. It's because of the funds you guys provide, I can go a wee bit extra. Love your faces, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!